Party. They still think Donald Trump should be president. That's a shame because it's not true. But
hopefully that transition was kind of smooth. You know, hopefully it cut out just for a second and I'm back. Hopefully you're not looking at a dead screen. We're back. Reload if you need to. You know, might need to I don't know how it works on Twitch, but I think I get like a 1 minute, 60-second delay on the stream here. No, just a bit louder. Okay, yeah, the audio will be different. Sorry about that. You will have to adjust your audio. Sorry about that. Totally different computer, completely different setup here. But let's get to it. Yeah, the voting has begun.
We are just moments away from the start of the Iowa Republican caucuses, and for the very first time, we will be able to reveal the top choice of voters as they went into caucus sites. Their choices could change, of course, once they're inside the room and they cast this ballot. Right now, we have this key race alert. And Donald Trump is the early leader in the Iowa Republican caucuses based on our entrance poll of caucus goers. And our entrance poll shows Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are in a tense fight for second place. Remember, this is all based on early results from our entrance poll of voters on their way into the caucuses. They could still change their minds once they get inside, so this might not reflect the ultimate winner, but it's a pretty good sense of what voters are thinking as they go to caucus. Dana Bash, no surprise there, I suppose.
My mom is Dana Bash. She's my mommy.
No surprise. The question is going to be what the margin is. And again, I should just underscore that I am here, I should say, with Casey Hunt and Chris Wallace. That is a poll of people talked to coming in. Where we are right now and where our colleagues are all over Iowa are places where they're actually going to vote, actual caucuses.
All right, lowering it down.
Hasn't it been amazing to watch all these people come in these frigid temperatures? I mean, there are hundreds of people here. Signing up, getting ready to listen to people speak, and then cast their vote.
Awesome.
You've been doing this since 1980. I want to say that in a way that shows the reverence. and experience that you bring to this.
Isn't he a Fox News
and
show?
It's a lot. You've seen this many, many times.
Yeah, I have. The first time was Teddy Kennedy against Jimmy Carter. I was covering the Kennedy campaign. It didn't go well for him. Listening to these exit polls and hearing what David Chalian has to say, what becomes clear to me is this really is Donald Trump's party. I was talking to one of his top campaign operatives this afternoon, and he pointed out to me that the networks, cable news, I don't know who did it first, called the race for Ted Cruz in 2016 at 9:16 p.m. Central Time, 10:16 on the East Coast. And he said, you know, we think that in the 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, that somebody is going to be calling this race for Donald Trump. And when I talked to him about how big the victory is going to be, and they're not sure about 50% or not, the most that anybody has ever gotten in a contested Republican primary in Iowa, or in a caucuses, is 41% by George W. Bush in 2000. They say we'll absolutely beat that. The biggest margin between the first and second place is 12.8% by Bob Dole in 1988, and they said we're going to crush that. So we don't know the numbers.
I promised fun. I promised some fun. The word Bob Dole came in, so let's go ahead and take a look at what Bob Dole was up to in his retirement era. Have a look. What were you up to, Bob? Good old Bob Dole. It's my computer. I don't know what I need. And it pauses. Perfect timing. There we go. And we pause again. What is wrong with my computer? When did we get to the Bob Dole part? Is he just at the end? I'm gonna get DMCA'd, man. I can't play a whole. There he is.
Easy boy.
That was it. I thought Bob Dole had a bigger part of this. Yeah, Bob Dole also did some boner commercial ones, didn't he? Or was that the only one where he was like, "I'm hot for young chicks" in the commercial? Did he do multiple "I'm hot for young chicks" commercials? Bob Dole, boner pills. Man, my computer is a mess. What do I have to do? It just all of a sudden started to get worse. I've literally changed nothing. Ooh, Viagra commercial. Here we go. Man, look at this. I got to sacrifice a goat or something. All of a sudden, just this happened overnight. My computer, I have 32 gigs of RAM. I'm basically using a server instead of a regular PC. Maybe that's my problem.
Courage, something shared by countless Americans.
Yeah.
Those who risk their lives.
Right.
Those who battle serious illness. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I was primarily concerned with ridding myself of the cancer. But second,
my God, my computer. This is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. All right. Well, the joke was funny. The joke actually wasn't even funny to begin with. So let's just get back to politics here.
How people are dividing their votes by candidate. So are you part of the MAGA movement? Remember, we said 53% of the overall electorate, according to these entrance polls, say yes, they're part of the MAGA movement. So how does that 53% split? Well, not surprisingly, since it's the MAGA movement, overwhelmingly they vote for Donald Trump. 78% say they're intending to do so as they walk in. 10% of MAGA voters for DeSantis, 9% for Ramaswamy. And again, probably not surprising that Nikki Haley is down at 3% among this cohort in the electorate.
Oh, I see.
Then we looked at the white evangelical vote. John King was just talking about this with Jake. It makes up about 51%, about half the electorate say they're white evangelical. That's actually a little bit down from what we saw 8 years ago as an overall share. But look at this, guys. 55% of white evangelical voters are voting for Donald Trump, according to these entrance polls. That number for Donald Trump 8 years ago was 21%. He's is God. More than doubling his support God. Among evangelicals. DeSantis, who made a big push at 24%.
That's what I think
Haley
when I see Trump.
At 12%. Ramaswamy down at 8%. Among those very conservative caucus goers, again, this is about 51% of the overall electorate that identify as very conservative, a larger share than 8 years ago. And it's Donald Trump's cohort yet again. 62% of them are supporting Donald Trump. Remember, this is half the electorate, and he's winning nearly 2/3 of that half of the electorate. DeSantis, 24%. Ramaswamy at 10% with the very conservative voters. Haley, again, making a bigger play for moderates and independents. She's down to 5%.
Iowa?
And then
that's embarrassing.
Look at how
if he's actually in Iowa,
here.
That's
they make
embarrassing.
Up, about 16% of the overall electorate. 16% of the overall electorate say they're independent. Donald Trump is winning independents. He's got 47%, more than doubling Haley's total at 20%.
Right. Every time I run into an independent, it's always, oh yeah, I'm independent. 5 minutes, 5 minutes into the conversation, you find out they literally support every single thing right-wing politicians do. Oh, but I'm independent. No. It's kind of interesting. The conservatives calling themselves independent because they're kind of ashamed to call themselves conservatives. It's kind of like neoliberals or Democrats calling themselves progressives, because they're too ashamed to admit that they support a corporatist party. Don't do it, Lenny. Americans need a certain amount of corn every year, or we will turn into a hot dog.
This is your first caucus.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And this is your first caucus as well?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay, so why did you want to come out and caucus?
Because I want to make a difference and impact the world I live in.
Isabel, it's a secret ballot.
Oh, no.
I saw you guys checking in.
Yeah.
No.
Have you decided who
Nikki
you're going to
Haley,
caucus
come on,
for this
Nikki
evening?
Haley.
Yes, I have.
Would you like to tell me?
Sure, Ron DeSantis.
What is it about Ron DeSantis?
So actually, I just listen to her family, and they tell me about who they're going to vote for. So they were telling me about him. And
are you going to caucus
honey.
for DeSantis as well?
Yes, I am. That's my plan.
Have you been decided?
Honey.
Have you been decided and committed for quite some time?
She literally just said, I listened to what her family said, and I'm going to do what her family said. Oh, honey.
But I really like how Ron DeSantis has communicated, and what he's done in Florida sounds pretty good. And I really appreciate how he is respectful.
I don't know how
and
many
the way he treats
precincts, Lenny.
people
I'm
and
not sure.
interacts. I really respect that, and
Yeah.
I want that in my leader.
April and Isabel. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's what she wants. yeah, Ron DeSantis. Yeah. I don't really care if I have ownership over my own body. It's okay. And the books that he's banning, I mean, except for the dictionary, maybe. But
Precinct 3 in Des Moines. In this room, we were expecting around 200 people. Right now, we've calculated roughly between 40 and 50 caucus goers. And if I could ask the room, folks, if you could show your hands, how many of you are caucusing for the first time? You see a handful.
Yo, we got Trump Jr., y'all. We got Trump Jr. Woo, woo. Let's hear what Trumpy Jr. has to say.
Maybe they'd sell it, but when you try this hard, when you're clearly venue shopping, they don't take prisoners.
That's so funny. Vivek is exclusively on Fox and the right-wing channels. They want nothing to do with Vivek on the left-wing networks. That is fascinating. Coke. He looks like Coke. He looks like Coke, like a pile of Coke became a person. He totally does.
This is one of his main surrogates, his son there, his eldest son. Let's listen briefly.
What was it? $654,000 to try something they've never tried before. People are getting, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. Just like Russia. It's all one big lie. And so, I'm not too worried about that at all. I think the regular people,
91.
they've seen it. If they did one thing,
is it 91 convictions?
They'd sell it. But when you try
4
this
indictments,
hard, you're clearly venue shopping. We're going to pick D.C. and we're going to try a Florida case.
All made up, every one of them, every single part of it.
The American people aren't stupid, and everyone wants to try to sell them something, but I think they see through the nonsense. They saw through the lies. We were told the adults are back in charge, and look at what's happened to the world in the last 3 years.
So that's what Haley's sentiment that immigration is one.
I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get up there. I'm not one of these guys that needs bullet points. I go and I speak from my heart. That's what I do.
All right, Donald Trump Jr. there speaking to reporters in this gaggle. We're going to get final thoughts from our friends Katie and Brian here. One of the things I was kind of monitoring as well, because Trump's lead is so massive, is that in itself a deterrent for some of his diehard, supporters and voters? Maybe they're saying tonight, it's cold there in Iowa, of course, that Trump's got this in the bag. We don't have to come out. Is that at play, do you think? Katie, you first.
I don't know, actually. I mean, I think that there is actually something in Iowa. People are very serious about the caucus. I think to your point that you made earlier, I think there's probably some people who, if they're elderly or are in bad areas with roads, maybe are considering it. I don't think that there's a lot of people who are saying this is wrapped up. I do think there's still been some twinges of some like nefarious election, outcomes. I was hearing it from an Iowa voter today in an interview. So I think most people are feeling pretty adamant that if they can get there, that they need to get there, that they need to vote. And, I would
see, Vivek Ramaswamy he knows how to fake sincerity. He knows how to do that. Maybe if Ron DeSantis wasn't in his way, he might have had a better chance, because he's such a good used car salesman,
people to show up and vote in the caucus.
Yeah, Brian,
and my final comment, I guess, would be that, there's the old line about polling doesn't vote. And we have lots of examples in American history where people
1,600 precincts
voting
voting.
for somebody that was not predicted to do well. And we will see.
Hey, Vivek. Hey, I'm an incel. I post racist stuff on Twitter. I believe in the great replacement theory. Thanks so much.
Running the board.
All right, Katie Wanenberg, Brian Silva.
Okay, there we go. Wow, fascinating stuff. Really amazing. Over there, Fox News. What's Kornacki up to? Here we go. Man. Hopefully they fix this mic. We'll keep checking in on Kornacki here. I'm sure they'll... Oh, my God, the mic. This is happening live. This is what it looks like, folks. We should watch this at least for a second. Is BTC streaming? That's a good point. Oh, BTC. Where are you, sexy boy?
So I left my hand out here for the United States of America.
Where's my boy Brian Taylor? You know he's on this. Oh no, Brian Taylor. Oh, he's slipping, dude. He's gonna lose 300,000 subscribers because he's not live right now. That's not how you grind. That's not rise and grind, BTC. Oh, that was 4 days ago. Oh, BTC, that's not rise and grind. Okay. Wow. Mono speaker. How about that? Is that annoying enough for you, that coming out of one side of your speaker? Yeah. All right. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, they're in some gymnasium at some high school, whatever the hell, and they're gonna all vote for their what they want, which is a fascist authoritarian dictator. That's what they want. They want Donald Trump. They've seen everything. They saw January 6th. They saw the whole 4 years of it. They'll lie, cheat, and steal to put him in charge. And they may just very well get what they want. They might just get exactly what they want. God help us all if they do. And they're going to be the dog that catches their own tail when they do it. They're going to be blaming everybody around them, of course, everybody else. But we'll all know, right? There's no other answer, but the reason why we're all suffering more than we were under Biden is because of the authoritarianism. But no, I mean, hey, look, maybe Trump will get in and he'll be a good dictator. Yeah, what if, huh? Yeah, I'm sure he's going to help us out. That's the vibe I get from Trump, is that he's gonna help the regular Joe out. That's totally the vibe I get from Trump.
In shift.
Yeah, well, John Dickerson, thank you so much to watch for tonight. Who will come in second place? What is the margin of victory?
Oh yeah, baby.
Continue to follow
John Dickerson. You know he does.
New Hampshire, South Carolina,
John Dickerson.
And Super
Yeah,
Tuesday.
boy.
And just a reminder, CBS News is characterizing the Iowa caucuses as lean Trump. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to anchor
Trump.
the CBS Evening News after the football game.
It's over.
And then we'll
They
continue
don't
to
even
watch
care.
the results.
They're like,
with
yeah,
you.
it's
So
Trump.
I hand it
Okay,
over
we're
to
done.
Major. He has more straight ahead. Major?
Oh, okay. So Major's going to continue streaming. They're going to do real news. Okay.
And Haley campaign headquarters. You are streaming America Decides.
So Kennedy does not pick another, can get tense. I don't think it, this is going to be one of the most routine zip, no question, no problem. Yeah. Zip, zap, zoop. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I doubt I'll even be streaming for 2 hours, quite honestly.
They're willing to sacrifice their lives and their families.
Yeah.
Because they still believe in this amazing experiment that is America.
Yeah.
Shut the
So
fuck
if they're willing
up.
to sacrifice for us there,
Yeah.
shouldn't we be willing to fight for America here? Because we have a country to save.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Oh
But
my
in
God.
order to save her, it's going to take a lot of courage. Courage from every Iowan. Courage from everyone. Courage for me to run. And courage
You're so
for
brave.
every one of you to know. Don't
So
complain
brave.
about what happens in a general election if you don't
So
really
brave.
focus on what we do in this caucus.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Someone
true.
asked me when I announced why I was running.
Why are you running, Haley? Is it
I
for
said,
America? Is it for me?
50 years ago,
Yeah.
to America that was strong and proud and full of opportunities.
Right. And
I want them to
racism.
know that country again.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for my husband Michael and his military brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
They need to know their sacrifice matters. They need to know that we love our country.
We do.
I'm doing this for my daughter who
That's why
just
we're
got
gonna go
married.
back
And I saw how
time.
hard it was for her and her husband to buy a home.
Yeah.
The average home buyer in America now is 49 years old.
Right.
The American dream is leaving them.
Yeah. So the Republicans are gonna penalize BlackRock and all the other corporate entities buying up millions of houses jacking up the prices, basically acting like a retail or a real estate cartel. I'm sure there's a lot of Nikki Haley policies about going after those massive entities that are causing all this pain, right? We're gonna fix that one.
Okay with that. We have a country to save.
Save
But
it.
in order to save her,
Yeah.
not only do we need to start getting things back on track, we also need to heal.
Yeah.
We also need to stop the chaos. We also need to stop
And part of healing is making sure that women across America don't have the right to their own fetus, don't have the right to their own womb, right? That's a big part of what we have to do, guys. Haley does have a little bit more nuance. I think she stops at 15 weeks. I think that's where her limit is, 15 weeks. Ban it up to 15 weeks, something like that.
trying to make you proud in the process.
She also makes the states' rights canard. She makes that argument about states' rights and abortion.
Iowans do their homework. They know their issues. But more than that, you're patriotic, God-fearing, hard-working.
Wow, man, this Kornacki guy. Open his mic, dude. No one wants to watch this. What is this? Why would we watch this? Who would watch this? This is crap. This is trash. Just blasting a loop of their terrible NBC hero music to this goober looking at numbers and crap. This is the most substantive-less. Do people want this? Did somebody want this? Do people request this? Say something, man. Hello? Hello? Steve. Hello? Oh, the map, something on the map turned red. I don't know, man. It just seems like what we want to hear is like the uncut analysis, you know? We want to hear what he's saying, right? Like all the different discussion, the back and forth, right? The behind the scenes stuff. That's what this is. It's like a behind the scenes look. So, but you're so worried about like a hot mic moment, or you're so worried about, what, I don't know, maybe him being wrong. Maybe he says something, he has to correct himself or something. You do this instead. It just ruins the whole point of the behind the scenes, right? Because the behind the scenes would be like him discussing these numbers, and okay, they need these numbers queued up in 5 minutes, and the whole behind the scenes thing. Concentrating on putting the pins on the board manually. It went red all over. Oh, it did? He's catching up. Oh, we got Donald Trump.
We've ever had. We had the best economy we've ever had. And
Not
it was
true.
an honor to
It's not true.
have won your state twice.
It
we
was
won
not
twice
the best
and we
economy
won
ever.
Decisively. And in
It
fact,
was
no
not.
president that's won Iowa, Ohio, and Florida has ever lost an election except for us. And again, we won twice, and we won in landslides, all of those states. And we're going to win them again.
Aren't you
We have
still
better
technically
poll numbers
president,
now
sir?
than we've ever had.
Right? He's
We've beaten
still
Biden.
technically president?
And I call him crooked Joe Biden. He's the worst president
that's a good
in the
one.
history of our country.
Got
He's
him.
the most incompetent, and he's the most corrupt president in the history of our country, and it's not even close.
Are
In
we
fact, I
having
said
fun yet?
Today,
Interesting
the happiest person
icon.
alive today is Jimmy Carter, because his presidency looks brilliant by comparison to Biden. It looks brilliant. But very importantly, because we have to beat him, I'm the only one. Every single poll over the last 2 months, and beyond that mostly, but over the last 2 months, I'm beating him, and beating him very substantially. I'm saying we're beating him because we have to get him out. He's destroying our country. He is totally destroying our country.
Example? Okay, how?
So I just want to say it's been an honor to be with you. This is my third time.
Trump
And
talking
the first
about
two times
honor.
were very big wins, and we're going to make this an even bigger win because we've done more in the last short period of time than anyone again has ever done for your state. I love
Okay,
your
there's more
state.
people
It's a very
back here.
special state, brilliant people.
Oh,
People
interesting.
don't realize that it's not only farming.
Interesting.
People don't realize that a farmer has such incredible talent.
This is weird.
And, a
Keep
lot
Jimmy
of my
Carter's name out your
competitors
fucking mouth. I
aren't
totally
into
agree with that.
And one of the other things we did is first in the nation.
All those people at the front row, they're not.
I kept you
Are they
there.
leaving?
As you know, the Democrats.
Is Fox News leaving?
Continues speaking there in Des Moines.
What the hell? Fox News just up and picked up their camera equipment and left mid-Trump speech? What?
Wanted to make sure you heard there from some of these candidates, of course.
What did we just witness? Why did that happen? The whole thing shut down. The whole thing. Trump speaking. They zoom out.
Even bigger win because we've done more.
Show like, okay, the crowd up directly in front of the camera is low, but there's actually lots of people in the back on the left and the right.
I love your state. It's a very special
Packs up the
state.
camera.
Brilliant people.
Oh. And we're gone, dude. He just straight up went like,
I don't fuck with you.
Okay, see you later, bitch. Okay, bye. Mid-speech, dude. What is this? That is so weird. There's got to be a good reason for that. There's some logistical reason for this. No way no way. There's got to be some logistical reason.
The reason why he has been so incredibly successful with the people who are so incredibly stuck
who are these
to him
jokers?
and would walk through fire for him. And I've met a lot of people like that here in Iowa. Not to say that he'll get everybody in this room. He won't. But
trying to get off
the
Smoko.
passion that he
Very
drives
difficult.
in people. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No.
It's cultish.
I mean, you know, to see the willful denial of reality and the percentage of people who don't think that Joe Biden is the legitimate president, or say, you know, I don't care if he's convicted, I would still vote for him. I mean, it's beyond any political movement I've ever seen. People sometimes call it a cult.
Cultish.
But what you certainly have to say is that people are genuinely devoted and committed to this guy and are going to follow him. I mean, it's a movement unlike any I've ever seen before.
I mean, I think it also just underscores why people who are on the fence about Trump are willing to kind of go along with him, right? Because that's going to make the difference for him. He doesn't have enough of these hardcore, crawl over broken glass people to even necessarily to top 50% in a primary, certainly not to win a general election.
Oh, come on.
But there is just this kind of sense that, and as
He's
long as he
getting
can
over 50.
say, I mean, listen, just listen. Right? No other candidate gets this.
No, it's true. And Jake, as you see the former president leaving the stage, I should tell you that right before he spoke.
And to all you, oh, wait, what did she say?
And you could hear a pin drop. And while he's speaking, Vivek Ramaswamy is also here getting ready to speak. He's been here for a while, but the former president trumped him when it comes to the speaking slot.
So to all the right wingers that are like, yeah, isn't it really great? Isn't it really great? We'll follow him. We'll follow him into the to the ends of the earth. We listen to whatever he says. He's we love him. We're so devoted, slavishly devoted to him. Guys, that's not a good thing. You don't get to claim, patriotic, democratic, supporting, I love America, while supporting a fucking Mussolini emulating dictator, dude. Those two things are directly, you own it, okay? If you're a right winger and you think, yes, this is great, this is how we should do things, you just please own it, okay? Own what you are supporting.
And they've just had the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer. Just to kind of illustrate the family affair nature of this. People are bringing out their little kids. Look at these adorable little kids. The baby was a little squeamish a minute ago, but she's got them under control, and they're ready to caucus here, Jake, and we'll be bringing it to you in real time.
I love South Park.
All right, Brian Todd, thanks so much. And let me bring you a key race alert right now because we have some actual.
It's interesting to see the writers of South Park kind of roll back on some of their more right-wing views. It's been interesting to see that evolution on their show.
Ron DeSantis in second place with 15.4%. Nikki Haley in third with 5.3%. At the rear, Vivek Ramaswamy, 4.1%.
This means more Ron DeSantis. I don't know who annoys me more, Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis.
Trump has 238 votes, which is almost three-quarters of the total. Fascinating stuff. Let's go to John King at the Magic Wall. John, where are these votes coming from?
Five of the 99 counties have reported votes. As you see, some of these caucuses, especially in smaller population centers, but some we have from the Des Moines area, some of them wrap up pretty quickly. Some of them take a little bit long, especially when the candidates are speaking, like you just saw the former president. But let's look. 5 counties have reported votes so far.
So
from the southeast corner to the northwest corner. So let's just walk through and take a look at what we have here. This is Des Moines County, not to be confused with the city of Des Moines. This is in southeast Iowa. 16th of the 99th county. So it's about 1.2% of the statewide population. Again, look at the small number of votes. We have a long way to go in the count, but Donald Trump, 95 votes, 78%. That's an early lead for the former president, as we're seeing across the board here. Let's just move straight across.
Over 50.
Keokuk County
He's
here.
getting over
Central,
50.
southeastern, but starting to move towards central Iowa. Again, this is a smaller, more rural county. 78% of the vote if you round up. Governor DeSantis running second here. Ambassador Governor Haley running third with just 2 votes. But remember, again, you're talking about very early. This, let's take a look. This is your population center, and yet, we're looking at 13 votes. And then let's just go a little bit lower and look down. Yeah, so 13 votes so far.
It's not even a question.
So,
look, it's just like I said, okay? Why would you get Republican light when you got Republican, at home? You know what I mean? I got to find a better way of saying that. But no, why would you get Trump light when you have, the real deal right there? There's no reason to vote for anyone else other than Trump, right? The only way these people, got this far is by skirting Trump. I don't know. I guess maybe Ron DeSantis is getting a majority of the people that are never Trumpers, right? The portion of the conservatives that still, I don't know, have some shame, that are still capable of shame.
CNN can make this projection
Whoa,
based on his overwhelming lead in our entrance poll of Iowa caucus goers and some initial votes that are coming in. The former president pulling off a huge early victory in his bid to return to the White House. Trump easily defeating his top opponents, Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, who are now in a high-stakes fight for second place.
Way too early.
Let's go to Aaron Burnett at the panel. Aaron, not a surprise,
way too
but
early.
Still, this is the earliest I can remember ever calling such a thing.
No, way too early. No, I mean, they called it way too. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Ron DeSantis, he could. There's like a new Ron DeSantis. He's got a Wolf Blitzer interview coming up tomorrow. I mean, anything can happen.
Team really here is how big is this victory going to be? They expected for him to win. Obviously, if he did it, it would be like a meteor striking the earth in their world.
What are my opinions politically? Oh, I am a democratic socialist, unironically. Yeah. Go ahead and put me in your box there, okay? I'm the man in the box. The dog gets beat.
Loss to Ted Cruz, and not only did he not accept that loss, he claimed that they should nullify the results.
CNN
and
should
went on
have
to
more
New
confidence
Hampshire.
in my
What
boy
he's planning
Ron
to do
DeSantis.
now, we've now just learned, is tonight he's going to New York. Tomorrow he'll attend the opening arguments of the E. Jean Carroll trial, where the jury is going to determine how much he owes in damages and that. And then he'll be going to New Hampshire tomorrow night after that.
Edge away. I use a bidet, so I mean, you're going to have a better time than most. It's not like I get a razor out every quarter and take care of business though. So hope you're ready to do some weed whacking, baby.
Republican Party.
I mean, you see, go ahead.
I mean, he's really made over the Republican Party, really, what you've seen from these entrant polls is just that, the way that the voters identify themselves, either the very conservative voters, the moderate, the other conservative voters leaning towards Trump, but also just the fact that they identify themselves overwhelmingly as part of the MAGA movement, that they falsely believe that the 2020 election, Joe Biden did not win that legitimately.
Wow, look at that. Wow, look at that, guys. They got this sign over the bridge. How'd they do that? Look at that. They got this big old Trump sign over the... Wow, look at that. They got this thing hovering over the river. How did CNN do that? Damn, they got more money than we think, dude. Really good at typing with one hand. You'd need to be.
Tiny sliver of this electorate based on the entrance polls. Real concerns for her and for Ron DeSantis, who has simply not cut in enough as he needed to do on evangelical support.
I mean, we talk so much about this race for second, okay? But you also have to take a step back and be honest that this is really taking the wind out of your sails if you're Haley or DeSantis right now, right? I mean, this is 8:30. The doors opened 30 minutes ago.
They were 100% fully aware of this. Like I said, this is about a miracle moment, like Trump keeling over, or maybe the 1% chance that Trump might get them in their cabinet or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. they had no doubt what was going to happen here. You know, maybe get a media career when you're done with your political career, or maybe this might help your current political career, right? But there's a lot of reasons to run a losing presidential campaign.
Was not legitimately elected president of the United States. If that is
Ponder
not a
monkey.
Donald
Yeah,
Trump
maybe Trump
Republican
won,
Party,
maybe.
I don't
Ron
know
DeSantis
what
still has
is.
a chance.
This is not an electorate that is particularly
is the
interested in
second coming
taking a
of
different
Jesus.
course. That's what Ron
It is.
DeSantis is selling. That's what Nikki Haley is selling.
China.
They don't want to go another way.
China.
They want to go back to Trump in so many
China.
ways. They've been saying that. These candidates have been hoping that maybe they could change their minds. We will see what the real numbers look like, but the task for Haley and DeSantis will be to fundamentally shift the thinking of a large swath of this party. That is we just have to be honest with folks, that is a very heavy lift in Iowa. It's still a heavy lift even in New Hampshire, and then as you get beyond that on the calendar, it gets harder and harder and harder.
The only other thought that I would add to that is that what Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are hoping for is that there is a stumble, that something does happen with Trump's
I'd like
legal
to see
issues
that,
to where they would be there in the wings. The issue for people like Ron DeSantis especially is money. You can't stay in the race very long if you don't have a lot of money, and his campaign and super PACs have been burning through it. And so that is a question of the longevity.
Look, I don't mean to comment, but I mean, that makeup person went to town, dog. Stop horny immediately. Illegal.
The projection. The votes are still coming in. Anderson, I'll say one thing. You know, Sarah Seidner talking to the Allens kind of stood out, right? I mean, he had his Trump hat on. He was very clear he was voting for, but it was interesting that they were saying they were first-time caucus goers, right? So Trump supporters, and they wanted to have that turnout, wanted to have that voice.
Cooper in my
maybe that's
life.
what we're seeing here in these early results.
Yeah, it is. It's an extraordinary, not surprising, but still extraordinary.
Whoa, a whole table of yahoos.
Listen.
Well, Donald Trump's literally broken every rule of politics. He campaigned the least of anyone, any of the top tier of candidates in Iowa, showing up the least, frankly, because he's been in court quite a bit. Yet he has won, and it's going to be likely a question now of how big of a margin. His team thinks it may be as much as 50%.
Well, you're a member of the deep state.
See kind of a taste of what the general will look like very quickly, because tomorrow, as Caitlin said, he's going to be in New York for his defamation
Anderson
trial.
Cooper's a
then
hottie.
he's going to go to New Hampshire. Then he's going to have to jump back here for a number of other cases that he has coming up. So he's broken the rules. It's worked in a primary because he is kind of the dominant force running as almost an incumbent. But that's a lot tougher in a general election.
For anybody thinking that this race goes on for Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, it's very difficult when they don't even go after the front runner. I mean, at this stage, how can you make any inroad on the front runner if you don't really discuss the front runner?
Major
well,
problem.
and also, you know, the idea that finishing second here so far.
Homie's rocking a really nice ThinkPad.
It's a race for relevancy, and everyone's losing except for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
and,
he's right. Yeah.
You know, if you look at the entrance polling we've done, if you look at the expected results here, this Republican Party wants to give Donald Trump one more shot to prove them all
fascism.
wrong, that everything was a witch hunt, that the election was rigged, that his legal issues are, you know, his just opponent. I mean, all the things that they're mad about, they want one more. It's obvious. They want one more shot at it. It's in the national polling, and we're seeing it show up at these caucus sites.
Yeah, there's one significant.
Is there any reason why anyone didn't mention this before we started this, you know, 4 hours ago? Could anyone have said this? 4 hours ago, it was like, I don't know, Ron DeSantis kind of has a chance.
Are relying on independents, on
Lenny,
Democrats,
I agree,
and that's why New Hampshire is more competitive, because New Hampshire invites independents, and it's easy for independents to participate, and they generally
look at
do
these
it.
numbers.
But even you know, I mean. This is a Republican primary. Most of these primaries don't invite independents in. I mean, this has been a steep climb to begin with, and we're learning that tonight.
Well, and two of the demographics in the entrance polls that I think are
they
the
want
most
it. They love
troubling
it.
for anybody not named
fox in
Donald
the
Trump is
hen
you have Donald
house.
Trump winning college caucus
took
goers.
all the
You have Donald
chickens,
Trump
and they're all
winning
like, yeah, it was
independents.
great,
I
yeah, it
mean,
was
these
great.
are historically groups. I say historically within the context of this race. That should have gone to Nikki Haley, and
Or
here you
that
see
the candidate who campaigned for them, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Well,
right?
right.
Like, how much more effort?
Exactly. And so, if you're looking, if you're Haley or Ramaswamy or DeSantis, and you're looking for your path forward, and you're looking at these numbers, you're not seeing a lot.
Also, there's some ways we have to acknowledge how the Republican electorate has changed. When there are more people who actually began identifying as evangelical during the time that Trump was president. It evolved.
Yeah, thank you for that raid. Very much appreciated. Zay Steak just rated the channel with 5 viewers. Did Zeoduke send you? Did he convince you to raid me? Zeoduke is very hot to trot about his rating. Soft Lucas, we are talking about Donald Trump winning the Republican primary in Iowa. He has secured the victory, as we all expected. And we're just kind of wrapping it up right here, just, listening to these very insightful analysis of why things are the way they are. Let's see what Dad has to say about it.
Come out of here tonight. If Trump busts 50, he's at 51, 52, and, Haley and DeSantis are still in the middling and the teens, it's going to be overwhelming, right? The Trump ground game is going to be just continuing to chug along and eat up, delegates in all these states like Pac-Man. It's going to be amazing.
Jake, back to you. We are projecting a win for Donald Trump, but remember, the caucuses are still underway. People are still casting
People are
their
still
ballots.
voting. Ron DeSantis has, look at this. He's only, 50% or something. Oh, he can do this.
He's at the caucus site in Des Moines. Boris, tell us what's happening there.
He's got this. Coming from behind.
Jake, so
Underdog
we're
win.
watching a window. This is a window into democracy. We're watching the ballots being counted literally as we speak. These caucus goers have just sorted all the ballots, and now they are in the process of counting them. Notably, there are campaign representatives here who gave speeches for several
meals. I see the meals.
Not one speech for Donald Trump. Yet, this is not a district that he was expected to perform well in. This is a precinct that Ted Cruz won back in 2016. And as we watch
look at these numbers for DeSantis over here. Look at
folks aligned with the Trump campaign who tell me that they are hoping
sorry.
he does well here because it'll represent a boost for him among suburban moms, something that I've heard John King refer to as his kryptonite in previous elections. And right now it looks like they are trying to decipher handwriting to figure out who folks voted for. It looks like Vivek Ramaswamy got 5 votes here in precinct number 3. They're counting through Trump votes right now. We just want to give you a quick sound, a check of what it sounds like during this count.
What does it sound like? Hold on.
12.
God damn it.
14. 15. 16, just 17, from what I'm
17,
seeing here,
19,
Jake, it looks
19.
like
I'm
there are
trying to
only
screw
a
them up.
handful
20,
of votes
21,
for Nikki Haley.
23.
Predominantly
23,
the two candidates that
23,
have performed well here are Donald
23,
Trump and Ron DeSantis. They both have very large stacks
Donald
of paper
Trump.
right now. The initial count, Jake, from precinct 3, 22 votes for Ron DeSantis.
Counted wrong. Got to recount.
24
count them all
for
again.
former President Donald Trump.
Count them all
again,
again.
This is a precinct that Ted Cruz won back in 2016.
Right.
Is this
the emptying of the popcorn buckets?
At 42.9%. Ron DeSantis is 39.3%. Keep in mind, this is just one precinct inside one county. It doesn't give you a picture of what we've seen across the board. But as you noted, Donald Trump, the former president, projected to win the state of Iowa. And this is just one snapshot of what it looks like on the ground, Jake.
And there it is.
Thanks, Boris.
John King, over Haley.
I don't expect you to know
dude.
precinct 3 history, but in general, this area of Iowa, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis doing better. Does that surprise you?
It's bad news for Nikki Haley. Does it surprise me? No, in the sense that, again, what we are seeing from the early projection to so much of the statewide map, one county right now where Nikki Haley is leading. We'll get to that in a minute. But as you watch these counties come in, and you see, again, it's very early in the vote. But
so 3.6 to others,
we know from our
and
entrance polls,
0.0 to Hutchinson.
We're able to make that projection. This is evidence with votes of what we've seen in the polling data and other data, my travels, political reporters' travels. This is more and more Trump's party, especially if he is doing well in urban and close-in suburban areas. That has been his weakest link from the beginning. He did okay in the suburbs in 2016, but as the Trump presidency repulsed the suburbs, 2018, 2020, 2022. So if in his comeback, he not only keeps the fervent mega base, but makes inroads here, and Democrats are saying, oh, they're just Republicans.
Again, very curious.
Oh, Oh
Maybe
my
true.
God, his
Maybe
mic.
true, but to win back the suburbs, first you have to get the suburban Republican.
They have not fixed his mic.
County that was Ted Cruz's best county in Iowa in 2016. It's not just that story for Trump. It also becomes a story for Ron DeSantis here. Clearly now it is a race for second place here between DeSantis and Haley. The exact significance of that, how far behind first place they'll end up, is to be determined. But these are counties where even if DeSantis is not winning tonight, he's got to be doing better than this.
Okay, yeah, thank you, John Madden. Thank you. Did you know that the reason Ron DeSantis is losing is he doesn't have enough points? Isn't that fascinating? Crazy. Did I just see Hootie and the Blowfish?
But if Donald Trump is doing well here...
How's Hootie doing?
Here.
Yeah, good work. Exactly, Ponder
here,
Monkey.
where Haley's leading there, even
People
if Donald Trump's
truly
a
have too
strong
much
second,
free
you
time.
can do well and not win everywhere. And here, if Donald Trump's doing well, where you see the city names, then Donald Trump is going to win, and we know he's going to win, but he's going to win big.
Now, here's
and that's
a
going to
guy
tell
when
us
he
some
runs.
things. We're going to learn some lessons
He
there. It's
moves
going to tell us some
faster.
things about his strength, the depth of his strength, and who that is, who the people are maybe coming back to him. It's also going to tell us as we move on, you can't match this county to another state, but you can make some reasonable, smart, informed decisions about how strong is Nikki Haley heading into New Hampshire. Does Ron DeSantis have enough legs to go anywhere else where there are conservative voters?
It's over. No one thinks that. CNN wants that. CNN needs that because it means an extra, what, $10 million, $20 million. I mean, it's crazy how much money this is bread and butter stuff, right? So they, like I said before at the beginning, they need this desperately to be some kind of question mark. But I mean, what are we even talking about here? Interesting. Wow. So Nikki Haley is actually winning some of these counties over Donald Trump. Okay.
How much of that Republican Party still exists?
It's
How
not a
strong
straight
is that
sweep.
Republican Party, the pre-Trump Republican Party that Marco Rubio thought he was the...
Or is it maybe early voting still?
Obviously, Donald Trump has dramatically changed that party. The question is, in the tug-of-war, those remaining who want to pull it back.
So, it's kind of interesting. At first I was thinking, the Supreme Court, right-wing Supreme Court's absolutely going to do that, is absolutely going to say that a president has full immunity to commit whatever crimes that they want. But does the right-wing Supreme Court want to hand Biden that power? Or potentially if Donald Trump loses, the Supreme Court just handed full-blown immunity, to a Democratic president? Does the Supreme Court really want to do that? That funny lawyer guy, the guy who does the My Cousin Vinny tweets, he pointed out that, wouldn't it be hilarious that if the judge or the Supreme Court finds Donald Trump, totally immune to all crimes, and then Joe Biden immediately assassinates Trump? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, does the Supreme Court really want to hand Democratic presidents full-blown immunity to all crimes? Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys.
0-3 DeSantis. 0-3 DeSantis.
Okay, where's the popcorn tin? Well, we got a Ziploc bag.
0-3 DeSantis.
Ziploc bag. Susie.
0-7 Donald Trump.
We're on TV. It's CNN.
0-7 Donald Trump.
Oh my God, that's the worst time. I just ate lunch.
0-3 DeSantis.
Oh God, here we go. Oh God, I'm so nervous. Anderson Cooper is so handsome.
0-7 Donald Trump.
Oh, this is
Okay,
fascinating.
so what you're
Real
hearing is going to give you
democracy.
some sense of where we are right now.
Total
here.
Trump sweep.
52%
Total Trump sweep.
Donald Trump so far. 28%, sorry, 26%
Wow.
DeSantis so
Wow.
far.
Fascinating.
Ramaswamy 18%.
He's watching for fraud.
3.7% Haley.
He's on the
right
lookout
now,
for
DeSantis
fraud.
is a
I see
huge
you.
number 2.
I
Let's
see you,
listen
wolf
to
liberal.
the last few
Counting.
ballots that he has.
10,000 mules. Yep.
0-4.
He's got a big cross on his neck. I love that. Hold on.
0-4 Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
0-7 Donald Trump.
This is a sound effect.
0-3
sorry.
DeSantis. 0-7 Donald Trump.
Yeah, right. Let me see that. Verify it. He's a 10,000 mule.
0-7 Donald Trump.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. He's passing around USB drives like heroin vials.
0-7 Donald Trump.
Yep. Ziploc bag filled with crack, meth, Breaking Bad.
0-3 DeSantis.
Yep. You see, he just
07, Donald Trump.
See what I mean? He did a little switcheroo.
Are we still in sync?
I bet you those are 2 DeSantis votes. Those are 2 Trump voters. Caucus, more like caucus. Hey!
Yes.
Got him. This is fascinating.
07, Donald Trump.
Wow.
03, DeSantis.
Wow. I'd rather watch this than
06,
Anderson Cooper.
Ramaswamy.
Yeah, there we go. Vivek gets one.
John King, interpret what's going on here. 03, 07, those are precincts? Those are individual precincts?
That's what we assume they are. Precincts within some of these counties. You come to a big site, different precincts break off into different rooms. They do their voting, and obviously all the ballots have been put in a bag.
Where's
and you have
popcorn
one
tin?
precinct captain counting the votes, and you see
just said a
representatives at the
small prayer
table
for Jack
keeping
Smith.
count. Important to note,
Good on you, Lenny.
especially after listening to those disappointing entries.
He's going to get a hand cramps. Good point.
People from each of the campaigns
guy.
are going to watch this. All right, so watch the
better
count.
watch this.
Make sure it's done right. If anybody sees anything, they ask a question. You do
That's
it politely. You recount if you have
Put
to.
a camera in
That's
his
the way
face.
democracy is supposed
What's
to work.
your name?
And there are representatives from each campaign at the table.
What's your name?
Right at the table, so that
What's your
everybody's watching
angle?
this transparently, as obviously the reporters
you a
will have to
mule?
watch
You're
too.
10,000
This
mule.
is transparent democracy at
Prove
work.
that you're not a mule.
One of the reasons you can get so frustrated at the distrust out there is that these are
Trump.
honest, hardworking Americans
More
who are for
like
different candidates
God.
who are sitting there counting the votes tonight, whether they're for their candidate or somebody else's
That's
candidate.
conservative
they're
humor.
doing the right, and they're writing it down, and then they're all going to look at each other and say, "We good?" And they're going to report the results.
like,
I do the look
my
at
Lord and
themselves and say,
Savior.
"Good part," because we're showing you this. It's the value of our reporters on the ground
All right.
in these valuable
Yeah.
places.
No, he's got
is
some in
that
his
we
pocket.
see
Check
this
his
here.
pockets.
If you pull up this county,
Tackle
this is
him.
Lynn County, Cedar
Tackle
Rapids
him.
right here. We don't have
Literally spear him in the back into the table immediately. Security. Where's the cops? He's a 10,000 mule. Got it written all over him. Literally blast into him, dude. Fucking Goldberg style. Fucking blast into him, man. What are we even talking about, dude? He's a 10,000 mule. Kornacki over here takes a shot of whiskey. Whoops, didn't want to show that. That's me. Yeah, well, he's a 10,000 mule, so. Here we go. Democracy in action, guys.
Let's start one side. And,
Democracy in action, dudes.
Start on this side. This
Democracy in action, guys.
Yeah. This is for Vivek.
This is for Vivek. So
Don't touch me.
Yep.
Do you think Arizona will go red this year?
Yep, she's going to double check my work there.
You know, that's an interesting question, borderline feline, because what we saw for the first time in, like, what, decades, that, you know, Arizona was turning into a purple state. I don't know. I think that's a really good question, actually. I am hesitant to make a prediction. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see, because nothing has really changed since the last go round, you know? So I guess let's wait and see. One thing I would be worried about is all the new laws around quote unquote election integrity and fraud avoidance that the right wing has instituted and implemented that allows them to kind of get the results that they really want outside of gerrymandering. So I'm curious if that will affect anything. I mean, this process here at Iowa, good luck trying to corrupt this. This is how, you know, this is how it kind of should be done at a local level here. Paper, you know, counting by Trump caucus captains. Ugh. Why are they so proud? You know, what are you going to get, man? What are you going to get out of this? Is pissing me off that important to you, dude? You know, they're going to they're dismantling democracy right before they kick the bucket. And they're going to leave us with all these problems. They're not fixing anything. They insist on having this iron control over our lives. You know, people like these boomers, you know, that are insisting on an you know, these boomers that are insisting on installing an authoritarian right before, you know, this entire generation, you know, passes on. It's crazy. I wish I had a better word for it, but it's just like, man, there's got to be a better way for that. There's got to be a better way for doing this. Is it really that we just have tens of millions of Americans that are 100% it's impossible to convince them that, you know, voting for oligarchs and corporatists and outright authoritarian fascists hurts them? You know, it hurts them. It doesn't help them. You know, no one's been able to make that argument. Nobody. They're just big smile on their face. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for a dictator for a day. That's hilarious. He's just joking. I mean, thanks, Kevin. Thanks a lot, man. You know, this beautiful country, this beautiful democracy. And we're going to tear it down. We're going to tear it down for this man. Kevin doesn't really believe Antifa did January 6th, right? He doesn't really believe it. It makes you wonder what these people honestly, you know, they claim that they believe what they believe in, knowing full well that they're being hypocritical and don't truly believe in it.
73, Donald, it was
73, Donald Trump.
73, and Vivek was 23.
Oh, so this is a very extreme county, right? If they can't get Trump, then they would like the crazy, the totally unhinged. You know, every conspiracy theory is real. January 6th was not only like, you know, was done by other people, but it was like a hoax or something. I mean, just, you know, whatever crazy nonsense. I believe. You know, it's like, I don't want to get to the point where the country gets so bad that these people are finally convinced that they made a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, how bad, think about it. How bad do things actually need to get before they come around, right? It's going to have to get pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad for Kevin to come around to it. And likely by the time it gets bad enough for Kevin to reconsider you know, his big gold and white Make America Great Again hat there, Trump caucus captain hat. By the time he's reconsidering his decision about installing an authoritarian, he's going to be just several years away from, you know, from the end of his life. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, we're the only ones that can stop this. And of course, select members of Generation X. And of course, out of respect for the rare boomer that we have, including our #1 financial contributor, Lenny, that understands the danger of destroying democracy and replacing it with authoritarian control.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It makes me so sad. They're so eager. I turn 75 tomorrow. Lenny, you know, you're awesome. Lenny is one hell of a guy, folks. You know, I wish, you know, and it's like, it's not age that is the determining factor in this like steer towards fascism. It can't just be age. I think it's fear. I think it's fear that's driving this. I think that's what it is. I think these people are so afraid of becoming irrelevant, maybe. I don't know, maybe I can't quite articulate right now. I need to think about it more, about what specifically they're afraid of, but they know. Like I said, they know there's no way they know they think January 6th was Antifa. There's no way. And if you're willing to do just like, no, I don't really care what reality is. I know it's not true in my heart. I know I'm spouting bullshit, but it helps if I spout this bullshit. I'm playing some larger game, some meta game. I don't know. But it just makes me wonder, like, what else are they doing that with? You know?
All right, you're watching the vote count right now in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Oh.
So,
Overwhelming
John,
Trump
you hear,
victory,
obviously,
as expected.
We had a Vivek Ramaswamy vote, several Nikki Haley votes that they're pulling out of those popcorn containers and reading them off as we watch democracy in action. But tell us more about the specific location and what
we're hearing means.
It's old school, but it's just fascinating to watch. I could watch all night.
Yeah, you could watch all night, huh? Yeah, I bet you could. How is it that we have certain clarity in these events and others are happily delusional? I mean, it's one of the things that assists in living in an alternate reality is living in the lap of luxury. The fact is that you can believe in authoritarianism, you can believe in fascism, and there's really no punishment for it. And I'm not saying you should be punished for your ideology, even if I disagree with it, but I'm saying the political ramifications, right, of who they're choosing haven't hit them completely yet. I don't know. It's like they've been voting against their own self-interests for decades and decades and decades. Every year things get worse and worse and worse and worse. But we haven't hit that tipping point where it breaks through and like it was interesting, during the Bush administration, when he had 8 solid years, at the end of his administration, he was one of the least popular presidents in history, I think before Joe Biden. But George Bush was one of the least popular presidents in history. People, right-wing Republicans who, near the end of those 8 years, they had gotten everything they wanted. He was the hero of America after 9/11. The Patriot Act was passed, and he got everything that he wanted. But regular Joe urban Republicans, not urban, but rural Republicans, I mean, the base, they weren't seeing any of that. They weren't seeing any benefit from any of it. And it was directly affecting his poll numbers. That was one thing, because we had a democracy and George Bush wasn't trying to destroy democracy, so people were able to, go to the voting booth and make their decision. The problem that we're seeing now is that Trump is going to implement Project 2025, which will permanently affect our electoral system, meaning that democracy won't be able to pull us out of a mediocre presidency. It won't be able to pull us out of a mediocre party. We will be permanently stuck with more and more mediocre right-wing authoritarians, and God knows what adventures that they'll get up to. Thank you for that follow. Who was the clown in chat hyping Trump? I love Trump with my heart and soul.
DeSantis ahead early, though, 127 to 104 to 74. So
he's
you're watching
literally
the map fill in, and it's one now. Since we know Trump is going to win, the big question is by how much and
50.
where. We know he'll be strong in these rural counties here. The question is in these places here. This is where Sarah's been throughout tonight in Lynn County, very early in the county. If Trump keeps this Trump red,
I'm not joking.
That's a big win for Donald Trump. This is not a place where he was strong in 2016, and it's a place where in both general elections, he did not perform well. If suburban Republicans are coming back to Donald Trump, that would be a plus coming out of Iowa. But as we watch this, Aaron, remember the most important thing? We know Donald Trump's going to win. The second most important thing is a lot of gray on this map. So we don't know by how much, and we don't know what's going to happen beneath him. And what happens beneath him, if there's no consolidation and DeSantis and Haley are kind of congested together, that leaves it pretty murky as Donald Trump goes on to a state where he has done well in the past, New Hampshire. And then if we get a consolidation, we know a little more. Let's listen.
Ponder monkey,
Trump.
come on. Oh, this is fascinating.
DeSantis.
Wow.
Trump.
I'm just going to do this every time.
Trump. Haley.
He is my
Trump.
God Emperor. I love Trump more than I love my family.
Trump.
My entire personality is Trump. I don't know how I will live once Trump kicks the bucket.
Trump. DeSantis.
Call me by my first name.
Haley.
Bootlicker.
Trump.
Oh, look at Haley getting a couple votes. Oh, yeah, right. 2,000. He's a 2,000 mule. Look at him.
This is not an official tally because we have to make sure that the...
Okay, great. Thanks for wasting our time, woman. So this is completely pointless then? That's really cool. Wow, so we do this in front of everybody and then we go back and get the real tally? Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. You're a 2,000 mule. Admit it, Antifa member. Huh? Rose? Yeah, Rose, the Antifa member. Look at that. I bet you that's an anarchy symbol she's wearing. Look at that. Look at that. You can tell. You can just get looking all over it. I bet she has USB drives in her pocket that look like heroin vials. Rose. Someone strip search Rose immediately. 2,000 mules. She's got them in there.
Precincts all across America on election nights, whether they're using a hand ballot like this and counting it right before your very eyes, doing the arithmetic we all learned in grammar school, or whether they're using machines, but they can also double check the machines as well. There are ways to do this. This, to me, as someone who's done this for 40 years, forgive me for editorializing, is the saddest part of our democracy that people doubt this. You're watching it tonight. Republicans, this is a Republican process you're watching tonight. These are honest, hardworking.
Oh, Caius, no, this isn't exhausting at all. No, this isn't in the least bit exhausting. No, this is great. This perpetual cycle of disintegration of the one of the greatest democratic experiments known to man. No, man, watching this beautiful country dissolve and die in real time has been nothing but a roller coaster ride of fucking fun. I am loving it, girl. This is the year of chaos. Yes, sir. Nothing's going to make my life better than rampant chaos. Hey, you know what? Maybe that extremist right-wing MAGA contingent of the Republican Party will finally not pay our bills and actually seriously destroy the dollar. Wouldn't that be cool? Hell yeah. Let's fuck that dollar up, girl. Oh my God. Oh my God, bestie. I want to fuck the dollar up. It's going to be really great. It's going to be hot. Our burning country is going to be hot. It's going to be great.
Lost in 2020, lost the popular vote in 2016, of course. But in terms of Republicans, lost in 2020, his candidates in 2022 did not do well. And there was a feeling, as you remember, after those 2022 elections that, well, the Republican Party was going to move on from Donald Trump.
That's funny.
If he has a very strong showing tonight,
bad impression of
not
yourself,
only will the party not have moved on.
Oh my God. Did he just burn me? Did he just, I know what you are, but what am I me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't wait for Trump. I mean, Trump, he's gonna make my life better. I'm a regular middle class guy, middle class, lifestyle, $70,000, $80,000 a year. And every time Trump gets up there and does a speech, he's talking about me. Right? He talks about how he's gonna make my wages, he's gonna improve my wages, he's gonna improve benefits. He talks about how insurance companies are ripping us off and how we should, penalize the insurance companies and make those prices, bring those down and make them more accessible for people, getting more health care to, to people who need it and cheaper health care to those who can't afford it. Of course, college education is a big part of Trump's campaign and a big part of his policy proposal. Every time he gets on the stump, he can't stop talking about, helping out the America's youth and to become college educated. He talks about how America needs to be number one in science and number one in math, and how he has a plan. He has a legitimate, 10-step plan to get those priorities done. And we're talking day one, folks. We're talking day one. The dictator stuff is all about implementing, a round of policies that would make our life better, guys. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Yeah, Caius. Yeah, buddy. Make America great again. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Trump use the Constitution as an actual diaper. I think that'll be so great for us. Bestie.
This win tonight was expected. I think it is still the first contest of this nominating season, and I think let's see about the momentum. Obviously, we're still waiting to see what happens for the second spot, but this does.
I want to recount.
Garner. This does give him the momentum that.
Yeah, I'm out $200, dude. Okay, the moment when Ron DeSantis steps down, I'm out $200. Okay, all right, Caius. Thank you so much, buddy. All right. It's really been great interacting with you. It's really been wonderful. You've been such a wonderful person to interact with. CBS has the worst coverage. I think I'd rather watch the Kornacki cam than CBS. I think I'd rather watch this than CBS. It's such a nothing. It's such a
absolutely, and that's that's why you saw this operation. That's why you saw him visit. I mean, he didn't visit as much as the others.
No, he did.
But he
you're gonna make bets.
Did
you should
come
do it.
here more. And I think that when you saw.
No, trust me. Don't do that. I'm already out $200 because I thought Ron DeSantis was going to challenge Trump. I didn't know Ron DeSantis was going to find new and interesting ways to coddle Trump's balls. I didn't see that one coming.
John, when you ponder that question, is a national party ready to move on from former President Trump after January 6, 2021, after the 91?
Clearly.
That's not a small number. That's a very large number of various criminal indictments on various charges.
It matters.
And you get a result like Iowa. Does that definitively answer that question, or does it only partially answer that move-on question?
Yes, it answers the question.
In collection with the other things that are happening, all the sitting senators who they have other choices. It's not a forced march to make sure that Donald Trump gets a second presidency. In other words, he doesn't have to be indicted. The information in the indictments could cause one to render a negative verdict about his ability to go into office again, and then lead you as a Republican to other.
I forgot about that angle. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm assuming that Merrick Garland's Justice Department is going to do a terrible job, and Trump is not going to see a day a day in jail. But yeah, maybe they'll get lucky, and if that's the case, it'll be DeSantis or Haley. So probably DeSantis.
John Dickerson and Finn Gomez, thank you so very much.
God, this is pathetic. This is the most pathetic right-wing primary I think I've ever seen. This is just pathetic. Yeah, Merrick Garland is an embarrassment. But we should be looking at Joe Biden, who's like, that's my choice, that's my man, that's the guy that I want. Holding these people accountable. Keeping our justice system alive. Merrick Garland's my guy. That's what Joe Biden says.
Had 50 forms for people who wanted to register tonight or switch.
Oh my fucking God. I do not care, dude. I do not care. I just don't care. Oh my God. Kornacki cam. Here we go. Entertainment. This is painful. This is painful. I think I was going to try to do another hour. I'm going to probably do another 20 minutes, folks. It's done. It's over.
This is the First in the Nation caucus. I know we have the First in the Nation primaries in New Hampshire coming up.
Mom figured out how to use Skype. God help us all.
DeSantis pulls this out. I do not see how Nikki Haley pulls this out. And look, I enjoyed Chris Christie being in this race because I appreciated his candor.
Ooh, is Trump going to do a speech? Maybe I should leave after Trump does his victory speech. That's what I should do. I'll leave. Okay. All right. I'll stick around long enough for Trump's victory speech.
Across Iowa, to Doug's point, the people that have kept up these signs from former President Trump's first campaign. And they're
wait, phone call? You can call people on your cell phone? Oh, that reminds me. I need to call my mom, actually. Actually, I got to call her. I'll shoot her a text to let her know. I'll give her a call after the stream.
He will be the nominee. And we've got to learn from, there was a really good piece in the New York Times today about a guy who does not want to support Donald Trump, but points out what he does right. And Democrats need to learn from that. What's going on at the border?
Hey, Lenny, thank you so much, Lenny.
Oh, you know what? That Donald Trump needs to talk about. Stop talking about the wall. There are some.
Look at Lenny running laps around these youngsters who I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the stamina for this. I can't handle it. You're getting outlapped by a 75-year-old man, you absolute weaklings. Lenny over here, absolute Chad. Chad of the century.
Heard the arguments for Donald Trump for many, many years now. And I think we ought to learn from those instead of just saying, he's wrong all the time, and his supporters are wrong. We've got to learn from that.
Yeah, we need to embrace fascism.
Yeah,
Can I add
go
on something?
for it.
Yeah, we have to
Sherry's
embrace
got some great points
fascism.
here, but one thing I want to point out is there's a large number of first-time caucus goers tonight in Iowa. I've seen this.
Yeah, we have no choice but to embrace fascism as a party.
So if you thought Nikki Haley and Ron
Come on,
DeSantis
guys.
were bringing new voters to the table, they're not. Nikki Haley's getting the old Rubio voters. Maybe DeSantis getting some of the Cruz voters, but he's losing most of those. They're not bringing anything new to the table. Donald Trump is the only one bringing. There are two politicians in the last few years, if you look at numbers, that have brought new voters to the polls. One was Barack Obama. The other one is Donald Trump. Those two people brought new people who normally don't vote to the polls, and you saw it in highlighted there is in going forward. So I think this is something that really is important to look at as you deal with this race going forward. And also, you know what the number one issue, Sherry hit it right, number one issue in Iowa tonight, as caucus goer said, immigration.
No, that's so true.
Wow, okay, so
Sherry,
the number one issue in Iowa is immigration. Okay, wait a minute. Where is Iowa on the map? Where? Okay, so I thought we were. So Iowa, immigration is a Iowa immigration, huh? I thought I was going to see a state maybe on the border with Mexico or maybe on, immigration, huh? In Iowa, yeah. Everyone pushing everybody out of the way to move to Iowa, huh? Immigration, huh? Big problem in Iowa, you think? Yeah? Right? Look, I'm not saying we don't have issues with people who, want to work hard in this country, deserve the opportunity to work hard as a citizen, deserve citizenship, and are not getting citizenship and are being kind of left behind by the system. And, it's causing all kinds of issues. There's a massive backlog. I understand we have all these issues pertaining to immigration that are not being fixed by Joe Biden or the Republicans. I don't know. I just find it hard to believe that this, square of processed cheese in the middle of the United States is somehow having immigration problems. Right? Like what? You get too many people moving to Iowa. Really? 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 It's just amazing how effective this propaganda is with these people. Their quality of life is going down, right? Of course, they're blaming it on Joe Biden, right? But their quality of life did not get better with Trump. It got demonstrably worse. Right. And it's, of course, going to get demonstrably worse again with another 4 years of Republican leadership. And, and they have issues paying the bills. They got issues, affording groceries. They got issues with gas. They got issues with this. They got issues with that. But the main issue polled by these people is immigration. So you got all these problems, economic problems, problems with class, problems with all kinds of problems. And your priority, what you're like, yeah, the number one thing that's going to make my life better, that's going to make my grocery bills cheaper, I'm going to get better wages, my work won't be able to take advantage of me, maybe I can send my kid to college. If only if it wasn't for immigrants. If it wasn't for immigrants. I don't know if that's true, Hassan, but I'd believe it. I mean, look at the inflation. Look at the how much your dollar is actually worth. Productivity versus compensation. Productivity, 300%, 400% increases. Wages, we just got above the 1970 wages. I think we're in the 80s now. The 1980s is the kind of the compensation that we're getting now. Instead of, what did they just increase it to 15 or 11? Was it increased to 11? Should be somewhere closer to $30 an hour. That's a real livable wage in America. 25, something 20 to 25 would bring tens of millions of Americans out of poverty. But if we really wanted to hit that poverty wage, we'd probably get closer to 30. Man, I mean, they're so completely zonked out, man. They're so completely zonked. You know what I'm saying? This is their own livelihood. This is their lives are going to shit. And they're convinced migration, some brown people who want to work hard and wash their dishes and pick their fucking fruit and do all this shit for them for pennies on the dollar. That's the problem, huh? That's the problem. It's bananas town, man. It's totally insane. It's totally insane. It's nowhere remotely close to reality. I'm talking nowhere remotely close to reality. Migration? That's your top issue. Your life's going to hell in a handbasket in Iowa, and you're worried about poor brown people picking fucking crops in a field? I mean, give me the calculation. How in the world? Thanos snap away all the migrants. How the fuck does that make your life better? Are you applying to these dishwashing jobs? These jobs that illegal migrants tend to work? I don't mean to be perceived as racist, but illegal migrants and immigrants tend to work. You know, these very menial Joe jobs that a lot of Americans aren't interested in doing. You know, I don't get it. It's like, because it's like, be selfish. Just be selfish. Just what are you doing for me? How does this help me? How does shitting on brown immigrant people actually help me? Just be selfish on this one. Right? Well, that's not going to help me at all. What does that matter? I don't know. In fact, if you Thanos snapped all the migrants away, do you know how expensive produce would get in the grocery store? Do you know how dependent our agricultural system inside the entire United States is dependent on cheap migrant labor? The farmers in Iowa I guarantee you, are taking advantage of cheap migrant labor. Man.
Junior speaking on behalf of his dad. There was a very tense scene here, an awkward moment when he showed up. He said he didn't realize that she would be at this same caucus site, but he just said he wanted to speak on his dad's behalf. He targeted her specifically, at one point comparing her to Hillary Clinton. We know that now didn't really matter or necessarily play into the decisions of most of the voters here. Lastly, Major, I want to talk about what voters were telling me as they left the room. They said that a lot of them said that they supported Nikki Haley because they also believe that Donald Trump brings chaos to the White House. Chaos follows him. I think that's a testament to the strong message that she's been putting out during the final days of her stump here in Iowa.
Torian Small, thank you so very much. Leslie Sanchez.
I thought I'd give the youngin, a chance to speak there. It was interesting to see a young person on CBS presenting the news. Good for them. Kornacki still trapped in his politics box. Steve Kornacki doesn't know that this is all a complete simulation, and that the numbers and the things that he's putting up there is just nothing but lies, just being fed to him, because this is all just some big weird social experiment where we watch this man who's trapped in a box, spend all of his time obsessing over people and politics that doesn't actually exist. This is amazing, dude. This is like some weird, freaky, bizarre AI experiment. Like, we taught this AI all these fake people, these fake politicians. It's all unreal. We just got this guy who's just totally obsessed with it. Have a good night. Praise Trump. Yeah. Our God Emperor, Trump. Just this music piped into the box 24/7 at various volumes of the night, day. It just slowly over night and day gets louder and quieter. Always playing. It's always playing, but it just gets quieter. Around 12 o'clock at night, to about 6 o'clock in the morning, it's kind of quiet. Starts to get louder. It gets loudest at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock in the day, it gets quieter. Quieter in the Steve Kornacki box. Watching him count the numbers. Love it. Love it. A random countdown timer. It's just countdown to nothing, and it just changes. You know, he'll look at it one time, and it's like 25 minutes. He'll look at it again. This is 38 minutes. You look at it again. It's 11 minutes. He never knows what it means. He doesn't know if it's counting down to anything. It's always counting down though. Oh man. Can we watch that instead of this? Can we watch? You know, eventually one day we'll be able to just type these ideas into a prompt and the AI will generate an entire movie for us based off that premise. Wouldn't that be wild? Fake celebrities, like AI generated celebrities and everything. Yeah, I want Humphrey Bogart and Madonna to be in this movie. You know? Wow. Oh, guys, wow.
So we're going to start. Oh, we got some more. Keep going.
Oh, we got some more. We got some more. Wow. Wow. I think that guy's wearing a t-shirt that says Rebel Scum. Oh, Kevin. Oh, Kevin. He's so happy for Trump. Oh, he's so happy for Trump. And, you know, Kevin over here, he's perfectly happy to participate in this, you know, in this pageantry, as long as he knows Trump is going to win. But if Kevin thought that Trump wasn't going to win, or if he was going to lose, Kevin would immediately start questioning the legitimacy of this system. You know what I mean? Kevin's a total hypocrite. You know, I don't know this guy, right? But you know what I mean, though, right? Unless the system is voting, is picking my guy, unless the system is on my side, you know, I don't have a use for that system. I don't believe in the value of that system unless it is providing me with victories. You know, that is one of the right-wing conservative mentalities we see quite a bit. You know, oh, well, yeah, no, they're happy to participate in democracy as long as they feel like it's going to benefit them. But the moment the democracy gets in the way of their goals, well, we got to fix that. Right? We got to make sure that isn't possible. Oh, this is way behind. Let's get a live truth. Vote Vivek. Oh, honey, no. I bet he paid for that. He paid money. Rebel scum over here. Real rebel. Yeah, real rebel. Let a corporate oligarch run your life like a petty middle manager at some shoe store. Yeah, that's a great idea, Mr. Rebel scum, Mr. Rebel. You know, he's wearing a Rebel scum t-shirt around a really nice buttoned up like sweater, you know. He's such a rebel, guys. Rebel scum. Yeah. He's such a rebel. He wants to allow Russia to win in Ukraine, just basically be defeatist like a rebel would. Hand over Ukraine to Russia, right? In the vague hope that they're going to it's going to ruin their relationship with China. Such a rebel. I mean, who even thinks that? Maybe that is kind of rebellious, actually, now that I think about it, because it's such a stupid idea. It's so wildly outside the steps of you would have to be a bit of a rebel to believe in such bullshit.
On the fact that Trump is the projected winner there in Iowa. I read out a pretty scathing tweet from Andrew Romeo. He's the DeSantis campaign's communications director. He
scathing tweet.
He blames the media. He cites this as election interference, that the race was called so early, even as so many Iowa Republicans are still caucusing as we speak. So we also have this.
Someone stop
Let's
steal.
take this tweet here. This is from Andrew Romeo. Let me read it out. This is the DeSantis
They called it so
communications
early.
director. We're going to be speaking to him live in about an hour and 40 minutes. He says, absolutely outrageous that the media would participate in election interference by calling the race before tens of thousands of Iowans even had a chance to vote. The media is in the tank for Trump. And this
Stop
is the most
steal, guys.
example yet. So, like I said, pretty scathing there from the DeSantis camp, as well as we are now what? That's about 30 minutes old. Trump is projected to win the Iowa caucuses, according to Fox's Decision Desk and the Associated Press. So we just showed you so many of those posts on X of all of these kind of stakeholders, especially Republican heavyweights, commenting and responding to that fact.
I really wish Trump would make fun of DeSantis' wife like he did with Ted Cruz.
Reporters there in Des
there's
Moines,
Hannity.
Iowa, and so we're expecting to hear from the
okay.
former
So this is the Fox you get if you pay for it, huh? Wow, you get Hannity, huh? Oh, and Newt Gingrich. Ooh. Oh, man, I really should have signed up for that cable package so I could have live streamed Fox News, guys. We're missing Newt Gingrich's opinion on this election, dudes. I'm so sorry. Oh, we're missing Hannity and Newt Gingrich. Oh, no. Oh, no. Where'd Steve Kornacki go? Oh, it's a different thing.
They were going to vote for Donald Trump.
It's
and
a
they
different
did so
Steve Kornacki.
in overwhelming numbers. Okay, that was all over the state. Then we have another layer. We have reporters all over the state on top of that who are getting the results from the precincts as soon as they are completed. That all comes back here to
Trump.
the data
Give
desk.
me the speech.
And
Come on,
when
Trump.
you put that together, and I'm going to show you, this is the current map, okay? This is the current
Trump
map, but you get an
speech,
idea.
Trump speech,
Yes,
Trump
a lot of
speech.
counties, a lot of
Trump
places have
speech,
yet to
Trump
report.
speech.
But this smattering
It
you
was
see
rigged.
of red is all Donald Trump. So every place
Trump
you
speech,
look, almost
Trump
every
speech,
place
Trump
you look,
speech.
is going for Donald Trump. We put that together in our models, and we can say that Donald Trump, at this point, he's hovering around 50%.
Fake
But he's
news.
got a very substantial lead
Fake
on
news.
the other candidates, and that is how you know, and that is how CBS
We can talk about how
and the
awesome
networks with their
Biden's weather machine
reporters
is.
find out and figure out who's won, Major.
It spits out ice cream and
And is there
aviator
anything
sunglasses.
that you saw in the entrance poll data or the actual caucus results as they have come in that you would
Hutchinson got
describe
1%.
as thematic
Oh,
or
look at
represent-
Hutchinson, dude, coming from behind. Hutchinson, 0.01%. 0.01% for Hutchinson. Yo, the underweight, dude, coming from behind, bro. Yeah, Hutchinson, my boy. My boy.
Over here and show you most important candidate qualities between shares my values and fights for people like me coming out when they had to select one top issue. What's important about this is that it's consistent with what we've seen from Trump supporters in Iowa and throughout the nation, which is they see him as a fighter. They have told us in polls that even things like the indictments against him, they often tell us they take them personally, see it as an attack on people like them. There's that strong connection, that loyalty, and they use the word loyalty, between them and Donald Trump. It is the likes of which we have not seen in polling and politics, and that is all consistent. We're seeing
Big
that
L
here
for
in Iowa, Major.
sanctimonious. Yeah, what a loser.
Anthony.
Right, so you're a Trump supporter, right? Big Trump supporter? MAGA Conda? Heck yeah, boy. We're going to get MAGA, right? MAGA 2025, 2024, 2025. Haha, no. What? How can you not support our God Emperor Trump? Dude, no, not allowed. You're actually not allowed to not support Trump, bro. You're a Nicky Chud? You would admit such a thing? Oof. That's a rough one. Ooh, L's in the chat for your boy. L's in the chat for your boy.
as well. We'll keep showing you this
I'm
throughout
a
the
lefty.
course of the night here.
Yeah, right.
And we are waiting for these candidates
Prove it.
to speak to their supporters at their campaign headquarters.
Prove it.
in
Prove you
Iowa,
support
not only
single-payer
former
health
President
care.
Donald Trump, or excuse me, Nikki Haley there, you can see, but also the Trump HQ watch party.
Prove
and
that you
the
support
DeSantis
single-payer
one
health care.
there as
Prove it.
well. So, want to make sure we got all of that
Prove
in.
it. Prove it.
Let's
You
take a
think
quick
old people
commercial
deserve
break.
retirement?
We also are getting some more reporting as well to see how former President Donald Trump responded to this
You think
commanding in
kids
there
should go to
tonight in
college
Iowa.
for
We'll have
free?
more
Prove it.
comments from him after the break.
Oh, thank God. Oh man, I don't know what to do. Where's Newt? I want Newt Gingrich. I want Newt Gingrich.
Word this evening that he will be attending the E.G.
Oh, here, check it
Carroll
out, guys. We can actually watch Fox from CBS, so we can actually see what's going on the real news network that I can't afford. All we need to do here is watch CBS here. 1 second here. Let's get this. Let's get the real news. Let's get the real information on the screen here. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. We can get a little bit of Fox. No, get out of the way. Out of the way, jackass. Trying to get some real information. So what's happening here? Okay, we got Hannity. Hannity's saying something right now. He's looking at people sitting in a diner. Hannity is saying, okay, okay, you're useless. Okay, here we go. Big screen. All right, try to work out the words. We do have some captions on the screen. He's saying, Trump's balls yummy, yummy, good, good. Trump's balls yummy in mouth, yummy, yum, good, good. Okay, just usual Hannity stuff there, looks like. We have a live capture right here from some restaurant. What is happening? Oh, here we go. Big man himself, most important human being on planet Earth. It's the guy. It's the man. Tie longer than Yashlongo. There he is. China. Okay, shut up, guy. Okay, now we got full screen diner. We got an interview at the diner here. Okay, he's going to ask this man what's going on. Okay, this man says, he's lost his job. Things are not going so well. Wow, this guy, look at this guy. He's got a face like a gravestone. He's got, you know what I'm saying? Looking good. What am I talking about? All right. I guess we're done with Fox News. I tried to catch a little Fox News. I'm sorry. I tried to get the real news network on screen, but I can't afford it. I don't have cable. We can't get real America news anymore, for free. Like that, it's high quality journalism, costs money. Wonder when DeSantis will throw in the towel. He's too proud. If he comes in with second, we're gonna have to suffer with DeSantis for a couple more weeks, maybe months. But if Nikki Haley comes in second here, we might see DeSantis drop out. But it does look like DeSantis is going to take the second place crown here. Oh, yeah, DeSantis seething. He's waterboarding his wife right now as we speak, right? He's taking all those skills he learned in Abu Ghraib. And, he's just taking it on his wife. And his wife, being the good Christian wife that she is, she's just taking it in stride, taking it quietly. Just letting her husband waterboard her out of frustration because he's not going to be the president ever. By the time he gets another chance at president, the extreme MAGA Republican Party will have already considered him to be a rhino and will have, started the process of removing him from removing him from politics. Nikki second would be such a humiliation. You bet it would. You bet it would. Yes, sir.
And what are the issues that they care about?
What are the issues they care about?
I encountered more people than I probably
Ponder Monkey,
expected who said that they hadn't
come on,
their
buddy.
minds today. And
That's
maybe
just
that's
gross.
the difference between being
That's just gross, dude. I'm a big fan of Ben Shapiro, and he said, women that have wet vaginas are actually like really unhealthy. It's actually like really uncommon. That's what his wife was telling him. His wife is a doctor. And she was telling him that, don't worry, wet vaginas, that it's actually, really, really unhealthy. Ben Shapiro is not an idiot. Oh my God. Oh my God. If Ben Shapiro was such an idiot, then how come he's like on TV? He's like on PragerU. He's like on YouTube. He's like on Twitter and, X and all this. He's so successful. He's got all the, he's all over TV. He's so smart when he talks, he talks really fast and he's so full of information. It's like, how can someone like that be so wrong? It's impossible. It's actually impossible for Ben Shapiro to be incorrect. I mean, he's scholarly, he's sourced. Everything he says is very accurate. He puts facts over feelings, Ben Shapiro. Time and time again, there's so many examples of Ben Shapiro putting facts over feelings, and don't you dare try to refute that. There is proof. He coined the term. Okay, he's a fact-based journalist. Okay, that voice does melt your heart. I mean, it melts steel, which would also technically melt your heart, which is a flesh organ. And I learned that from Ben Shapiro, who said, we are made of skin and flesh. Worship, we are made of skin and flesh. Remember that part in Ben Shapiro when he said that? I remember that. Oh, Kornacki time.
There are, it's not a huge number of college degrees.
Man, fuck my ears
There's
up,
also the city of
Kornacki.
Waterloo. There's Cedar
Waterloo.
Falls. There's a lot in this county. So I think this is one where
Sorry.
show me who comes in second at the end of the night here between Haley and DeSantis. I think that could be very telling. Another place to look is just the obvious place to look here.
Steve.
The biggest county in the state, Polk County. And we're starting to get a little bit more in now from Polk County than we had earlier. It was just a precinct. Again, in the past, like 17% of all the caucus vote has come out of Polk County.
Right.
And again, you're talking about a high concentration of college degrees here. Obviously, the city of Des Moines is here.
No, he's not talking to anybody. He's just literally in an empty room. He's literally talking to nobody. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know there's people outside that are watching him. He doesn't know. This is his whole life. He was genetically engineered for this. If he doesn't do this, he'll actually just keel over dead. Do an analysis on political actions that don't exist. He just talks to himself. He just cuts in, doesn't care.
Potentially, that means a lot of raw votes, and that means something that could really help her in terms of getting that second place statewide.
Right.
If DeSantis is able to keep this,
right, bless his heart. It's really, when you watch him, it's like the ability for the human spirit to survive. That's what this reminds me of.
This was Trump's worst. This is deeply religious, deeply even.
Where is Tug and Tubin? God damn it! Where's my boy? I need Tubin. Where's Jeffrey Tubin's analysis here? I want to know Tug and Tubin's analysis, man. He used to be so informative on this stuff. You get caught wanking it just once, and then all of a sudden you lose your career. Oh, come on! Is that Tug and Tubin? No, that ain't Tug.
See, and I do think that once we're able to focus on whoever the Republican nominee will be, this is again going to be an entirely different race, and people will see that Joe Biden is the
in front of his
standing up for working families.
Governor, I was in the state for many months leading up to the 2016 Iowa caucuses. Trump
I got 20 more minutes. If Trump doesn't do his speech in 20 minutes, it's over. I'm done.
A strong second here in Iowa. I don't need to tell you who's concentrated on immigration a great deal. I want to bring up something that's reflective of tonight's entrance polls here among Iowa Republicans, listing their issues in order of importance. The economy, 37%. Immigration, 34%. Among Trump supporters, 42%.
So that is very interesting, isn't it? Oh, so that was amongst Trump voters. So Fox News wasn't being dishonest there. Immigration over the economy. Isn't that wild? I just don't know what abusing brown people or forcing them out. I just don't know how that's going to make your day-to-day kitchen table issues better. You know what I mean? What's the calculus on that? You get rid of Jose, whatever his name is, right? You get rid of him, right, from the restaurant, from the farm, from the economy. You remove him. How does that equal a better life for you? The $50,000 a year, single mom working 2 jobs. How in the world does that make your life better?
Can discern, a difference in Biden and Trump policies when it comes to immigration. How many people come in? How many asylum claims come into the United States, either with times to report later, and they just feel that the difference is so pronounced and something that they are no longer comfortable with. That is something that's within the president's ability to change, is it not?
Well, we don't have a head-to-head race yet, but in a head-to-head race, I think it would easily be pointed out that it was Donald Trump that created the chaos that's happened in Venezuela. That's caused so many people to leave that country and seek asylum in the United States. That's on Donald Trump. Now, the question is, once they arrive here, what policy can you put in place to keep people from getting asylum? And the president has sought help from the Congress, the Republicans in Congress. They're unwilling to work with him. So in the end, when we get to it, when there's a head-to-head race here, I think this will be pointed out to people, and they'll understand it's been Donald Trump and the Republicans that have kept us from having true immigration reform.
Do I hear you correctly, Governor, saying that on immigration...
You're a rhino.
President Biden can fight it to a draw or actually win on the immigration issue?
I think that it's one that Democrats can win on, although I understand, as you look at the polls today, that fighting to a draw would be a pretty good place to end up. And the reality is what people really care about is their own well-being, their family's well-being, how they're doing.
CNN called it in 15 minutes. I think it was 15, maybe even 20 minutes. CNN called it. It's so over. looking at some of these numbers, maybe I was interpreting them wrong. Maybe I should get this out of the way. But looking at some of these numbers, I don't know. It really does seem like it's kind of a tight race between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. Sorry, I'm in the way of these numbers. That's because CNN is cheating. Yeah, I don't know. It does kind of look pretty tight, but I don't have the patience for this crap. It's literally irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant. It's the difference. It's the difference between a couple more months of Ron DeSantis or a couple more months of Nikki Haley. And just being in the news cycle, and then it's just going to be all about Trump versus Biden.
Starting from the summer,
it's going to be a distraction, very, very soon.
Not in that those early days, matters to how they're going to respond to polls. Now we've seen 6+ months of things getting better. Mortgage rates are coming down. Inflation significantly down.
It's neck and neck between Ron and Nikki right now.
Those are all things that people do feel in their daily lives. And as time goes on, as you're experiencing that and seeing those dollars coming in, those are things that inure to the benefit of incumbents. And in particular,
someone better get Spider-Man, because I think this guy's a rhino. Got him. Someone get Ann Coulter in here to write a book about this guy, please.
Larger and larger. In the great northern Midwest of our country, how important do you think that issue will be in the 2024 campaign?
I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know this guy. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Just make it stop. I don't know.
I love you, Iowa. Thank you. #MAGA. So, former president's 2 sons there in the state
neck
with
and
him
neck
on this Iowa caucus night. And that is, according to the Associated Press, with 36% of the votes in and accounted for, where the race stands at the moment. So Trump, of course, the projected winner there. DeSantis trailing behind in second place.
That's the best Ron DeSantis smile they could find. Look at the smile, man. That is not a human smile. He doesn't know how to smile. Look, Vivek knows how to fake it. He knows how to fake it. Nikki's, yep, that's good. DeSantis, not even close, dude. Not even close. He doesn't know how to make a human smile, Ron DeSantis. He actually doesn't know how to smile, dude. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've never seen that before. He's trying like hell. I mean, he is trying like hell, dude. Maybe that's what being a torturer does to you. It really does. Like, it makes it like, I don't know. Maybe he's always been this way. Maybe he was born that way. Weird. It's so weird. So weird. Oh, okay. More Chris Kanacki? Yeah. I hear you, chat. It'd be great if we could control the volume to his little box and we could just crank it up, Is Vivek going to do a speech? No? Okay. CBS over here, already losing interest. Oh, good. More of this.
48. DeSantis, 49. DeSantis, 50.
Oh, she's all over it. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. She's going to stop the steal. She's going to stop. She was right there. Oh, key race alert. Here we go, folks.
And let's look at the actual votes coming in. We have a lot more of the vote in now. 34% of the estimated vote in for the Iowa Republican caucuses. It's more than a third of it. And right now, Donald Trump is far and away in the lead with 52%. That's 22,815 votes. Ron DeSantis maintaining his second place position at 20.3%. Nikki Haley at third, 19.2%. Pulling out the rear, Vivek Ramaswamy, 7.7%. Asa Hutchinson, 0.2%. So Donald Trump maintaining his, at least as of right now, with about a third of the vote in, historically
walk with me, Jake. Walk and talk.
Lead, John King.
Walk and talk. That was a West Wing move right there. That was some West Wing production. God, I love CNN. So good.
No votes at all.
Ramaswamy. Whoa.
Left 30.
Ramaswamy.
So generally speaking, going to be Trump counties.
That one's fun. That one's fun to say.
A little bit more iffy, but yes, rural here.
Still too early, Lenny. Still too early to tell.
69 of the counties have now reported at least some results. So that's
neck and neck, coming from behind. It's Hutchinson.
They're doing this by hand. It's hand ballots, paper ballots, and they count them out. But they're moving along. They're moving on quite efficiently, and you see all the campaigns they're counting.
Yeah, they got the popcorn buckets.
Where Dana Bash is, so I'm going to pull up Polk
They dump
County
out
here.
the popcorn bucket. They count the popcorn.
Clive is unique. It's right out here. It's right out here
Called
on the
democracy.
border. She's in Polk County. But Clive also extends over into neighboring Dallas County. It's one of the fastest growing areas in Iowa. The Des Moines suburbs, if you've been there, I mean, 10 campaigns ago was my first campaign. To go to Des Moines and the suburbs now and to remember what they were like in 1987 and 1988, it is literally A and Z. And so that's where you have new voters. That's where you have suburban voters. That's where you have the higher college education. The insurance industry, finance industries. The Des Moines suburbs are just growing like gangbusters. Younger people as well. So watching the votes there is very important.
It is important.
If you're going to say, this is Trump's
I got
party,
it on my other screen.
all that red tells you this is Trump's state and this is Trump's party.
Another one red. Another one turned red when he did that.
How are they for Trump? What's happening? So it's fascinating to watch.
It's a great day for Trump.
Earlier on, Nikki Haley was leading out here in Johnson County.
No, I mean, and after today, and we're still going to hear it. Davey is probably still going to, poor Davey. I mean, I love you, guy, but, no, I mean, after today, whatever doubt you had, whatever the gaslighters or the grifters or those that benefit from a elongated horse race would tell you, this is Donald Trump's party. This is his election unless he keels over or he legitimately is barred from, running in one of these states. That is the only two scenarios that will get Trump off this ballot as the choice for the Republican Party. Now, I mean, at the Republican primaries, there is the possibility, I guess, of some Democrat-style chicanery where the people overwhelmingly want Trump, but they pick an establishment, candidate like, DeSantis or Nikki Haley. So I guess there's the slight chance that might happen, but we have to remember that most 99.9% of conservatives are inherently cowardly and would probably not have the balls to do such a thing, but you never know. I mean, so I guess there's three possibilities. I think the number two is the most likely. If any of those three were to happen, number two would be, he loses one of these court cases and he's like literally legally removed from the ballot in one of these states. But like I said, Merrick Garland is milquetoast. Joe Biden is a joke. The justice system is coddling politicians. The justice system is not going. I mean, we got Jim Jordan running around. We got Matt Gaetz running around. We're talking about we got Mike Johnson, one of the architects of January 6th, in charge of the Republican Party, Speaker of the House of the Republican Party. Is there even an investigation? Is there even a real federal investigation in there, like for sedition, in their role in this seditious act of insurrection against our country? And who do we have to blame for that? Look, I understand our justice system isn't 100% politicized, and Merrick Garland doesn't have the ability to just go after this person for absolutely no reason whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure he does have the ability to say, "Hey, are we investigating this? We are the, we are the Justice Department. We are in charge of making sure that people who are breaking the law are being held accountable. Have we gathered evidence? Have we, are there departments doing investigations?" I'm pretty sure he could do something like that. He's not completely powerless, right? Justice needs to be independent, but at the same time, if the people who are committing crimes if our Justice Department is not investigating them, not going after them, and just straight up ignoring their crime, what does that mean? What does that mean for the sustainability of this country, for the rule of law? When a character like Mike Johnson, who can orchestrate and implement a direct seditious insurrection against our country and be completely ignored by not only by his own party, who wants to deny his actions, but by the party that should be holding him accountable. If the neoliberals aren't going to hold Republicans accountable, there is literally no other party that will. No one's going to step in. No one's going to do this retroactively. The fucking Hague isn't going to come in. Okay? It is Joe Biden and the neoliberal Democratic Party that is solely exclusively responsible for making sure that these criminals are held accountable, and they are failing woefully. They are failing, and the only conclusion I can come up with is that it's intentional. They don't want to set a precedent that might get them entangled because they are criminal and corrupt as well, not on the same level as Republicans. But if we start going after politicians for their corruption and their failure to govern and failure to do their job, oh, well, that might set off a cascade event that might get me roped up in it as well. It's a plus, but we left that behind long ago. I think that's being too fatalistic, NY Typer. The rule of law, I mean, it's, if what you said was true, then there would be zero indictments, zero investigations into Trump. And that's not the case. I will say that it does feel like it's on the brink of, because if Trump installs a Trump-friendly AG, like I said, there's going to be an attempt to make permanent reforms, permanent changes to these departments that will forever change them and under the control of right-wing conservative dogma. The system hates Trump. Of course, they indicted him. We're talking about Trump-appointed judges in some of these cases. NY Typer, N Typer. We're talking about Trump-appointed judges, right? Aren't the Trump-appointed judges the ones that are bringing the eligibility case for him to be on the ballot to the Supreme Court? Wasn't that from 3 conservative judges that were appointed by Trump who made that decision? The system hates Trump. I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. Trump is being caught. Trump didn't have to take a mugshot or because Jack Smith in New York didn't have to do a mugshot or handcuffs. And then in Georgia, we finally got the mugshot, but he got to avoid handcuffs. Do you think you would be able to avoid handcuffs, N Typer? Do you think if you committed the crimes that Trump committed that you would be treated without, well, we don't need to do handcuffs on you. I mean, come on. I don't know. The system hates Trump, huh? I wish the system hates Trump. Not at all. I wouldn't. Okay. I don't know. I mean, you're an OG. You've come back more than a few times, N Typer. You've been here a while. You got a decent head on your shoulders here, man. But I think it's hyperbolic, really, and that it's actually hyperbolic, and it's also agreeing with the right-wing talking point that the deep state and that it's biased against Trump. The Democrats put Liz Cheney in charge of the January 6th committee. Instead of putting Nancy Pelosi or AOC, imagine if the Democrats put AOC in charge of the January 6th committee. You know what I mean? Like, the system hates Trump. It doesn't seem like it. It really doesn't. Trump is an outsider? Yeah, no, definitely. He's an aberration. Yeah, the status quo only embraces him as far as it benefits them, but it just so happens to benefit. Mitch McConnell got everything he wanted. Mitch McConnell got the dream president in Trump. Hundreds of judicial appointments, and of course, 3 Supreme Court judges. Mitch McConnell got everything he wanted. Tax cuts, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, Trump is definitely perceived. Why is DeSantis using red hats, dude? Doug, come on, you loser. Oh, DeSantis, you're so pathetic. I think Trump is perceived as an outsider by rich and poor. And I guess in a lot of ways he is, right? That doesn't mean that's good. Obviously, it's not good, because Trump, as an outsider, is not concerned with politics. He's not concerned with party. He's not concerned with country. Trump is concerned with Trump. It's Trump. It's Trump or Trump. It's Trump or get the hell out of the way. Country. It's Trump or get the hell out of the way. Party. It's Trump or get the hell out of the way. Citizens of the United States. Yeah, no, I think I'll give that one to you. I think it's fair to say he's an outsider. But I certainly wouldn't agree that that's necessarily a good thing. Look at these pathetic young people voting fascist.
Watch party. We are awaiting these remarks from former President Donald Trump as well. But in the meantime, we want to bring into the conversation
Brute force his way into making the Republican Party accept him and risk losing most of your supporters to the third party.
So much throughout the primary cycle.
Yeah, no,
and of course,
you know, the Tea Party. This really started when the Tea Party figured out. You know, they kind of figured out a hack of the Republican Party. They were like, you know, as long as we can continue to lie to these poor suckers that keep voting us back in off of ridiculous social issues, we can capture this party. We can hold this party hostage and force these people in our party, force their constituents to hold them to the priorities of this radical minority. Oh boy, they're really harping on this tweet from DeSantis's media guy.
Is in the tank for Trump, and this is the most egregious example. Yeah, you know,
stop the steal! Someone help Andrew!
Acknowledge this sounds a little bit.
Powers
like
that be would love
Trumpian
nothing more
language.
than a
Would
Mitt
you
Romney
agree?
maintain it says, quote, Trump do things the way I've quoted.
Yes, but
They hate him for
usually
it.
you don't hear the Trump.
I agree. The Mitch McConnell wing hates Donald Trump. Okay, but they're far too cowardly to do anything about it. You know, they let DeSantis, you know, they gave him what, $150 million to run a completely unsuccessful campaign where he mildly criticized Trump. At no time did any of those establishment guys that wanted DeSantis sit DeSantis aside and say, hey, Bucko, I really need you to, you know, make a clear difference between you and Trump. You know, we hate Trump. We don't want Trump, but they're cowards, and frankly, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, because if you ignore Trump, you ignore MAGA, you're cutting off too large a portion of your party. You know, they have control over, you know, maybe they're not even the majority of the Republican Party, but they have enough control. The ultra MAGAs, the MAGA wing has enough control over the Republican Party to steer it. And these people that don't like him, these GOP establishment characters that don't like Trump, are too cowardly to say, no, okay, fine, you know, we're going to take a hit this electoral season, maybe for the next 4 to 5 elections. This party's going to take a hit while we rebuild ourselves. John McCain, no, I'm not throwing hearts to John McCain. Bomb, Iran. Are you kidding me? I didn't forget that election where all that dirt was dug up about John McCain. He is a neocon Republican, but you know, obviously I agree with his take on torture and why that doesn't work. And of course, I would, you know, our fight in Vietnam was unjust. With that said, the soldiers who were put through the meat grinder, the U.S. soldiers that were put through the meat grinder and tortured and killed in Vietnam, certainly don't deserve to be derided for their, you know, for getting tortured or that kind of thing. Well, I don't want to say honoring his service, because what was honorable about Vietnam? What service was that giving me? How was that a service? How was that honorable? You know what I mean? What was it servicing? I don't want to disparage the soldiers who fought and died, but I also don't want to support an imperialist war of choice. And that's absolutely what Vietnam was. Well, folks, it is 7 o'clock. I am exhausted. The fascists have won. The final death throes of the Republican Party have been witnessed. This is it. We saw it with our own eyes. This is the last bit of the GOP dying in front of us. This is it. This is it.
Either not showing up at debates, not going in campaign.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Trump's going to be showing up for the speech. You know, I mean, I'm sure it'll be great. Whatever. But yeah, that establishment GOP that N-Typer was talking about, that's so mad at Trump, this is it. This is their death. This is their death throes, the final breaths. As you can see, the base had a choice. They saw January 6th. They saw the policies that they insist were great, but when you do the actual, when you look it up and you look up behind the propaganda, oh yeah, Trump's economy not so great. Maybe a couple highs, whole lot of lows, lots of tax cuts for the rich. Foreign policy, geopolitics, a total disaster. He was considered a clown by any of his peers on the global stage. All that, they saw it all, and they saw January 6th, as I said before. But I mean, it really does need to be stressed. They saw this man attempt, organize and orchestrate and implement a plan to destroy American democracy, and they said, give me another 4 years. I want more. Okay? Any hope that anybody has that the Mitch McConnell wing, that the Mitt Romney wing, that the Ted Cruz wing, that the Ron DeSantis wing, that the Nikki Haley wing of the GOP is going to pull itself out of its MAGA ass and correct course into a less fascistic direction, need to stop with the fantasy. Okay? This is the party of MAGA. The party of MAGA is Project 2025, which is a blueprint to dismantle the remainder of our democracy. It is a plan to install an authoritarian dictator. This is the Republican Party. That plan was put forward by the Heritage Fund, the decades-old Republican, think tank that has been, a big part of forming Republican policy for decades. And this is the new fundament. This is the new foundation. This is the new plan, right? This is the new manifesto. Democracy is in our way. Democracy has become a hindrance to our party and our goals. We are eliminating democracy. We'll never admit it. We'll never admit it. They would be in the process of ripping up the Constitution. Oh, this was never an assault against democracy. They'll never admit it, but that is what this is. Democracy is getting in the way of, their party relevance, and they will destroy it. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed our extremely long, 4 or 5 hours coverage of the Republican Iowa primary. We'll be doing New Hampshire. We're doing New Hampshire. We're doing Super Tuesday. I don't know why, though. I honestly don't know why. It's the most pointless exercise ever. It's Trump. We're not even having proper debates on the Democratic side for Joe Biden. I might straight up skip the Democratic. I mean, I'll do one. Maybe Super Tuesday, right? But it is completely, wildly irrelevant. We know who the decision is. And, unless one of those 3 possibilities for Trump comes up to disqualify him, it's Trump. All right, folks. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East. Glory to the Ukrainian democracy. Easy W for Trump in Iowa. Absolutely. Yeah. God help us all. God help us all. Fascism is on the plate for 2024, guys. Fascism is on the fucking agenda, man. Wild. All right, everybody. Thank you, Lenny. Big props to your boy, Lenny. Hung in there the entire stream. 75 years old. From second 1 to minute 0. Your boy, Lenny. I'd like to dedicate this stream to Lenny. Thank you, Lenny. And everybody else, thank you for coming here. All you lurkers. Snow, Ponder Monkey, Borderline Feline, Typer, Davey, Ponder Monkey, I think I already said you. You've been great. Thank you for coming in. Love to see you here, man. Hopefully you'll come back. This is the News Underground. Borderline Feline, big props to you. New viewer here, Megaconda. It was nice talking to you. Bo Jiden, that was fun. We had fun, Bo Jiden. Thank you for coming in. Just big props to everybody, guys. This is a very depressing topic, so I'm glad we got some people with some senses of humor who are able to, make this a little less miserable, and you guys are definitely doing that. So thank you, everybody. Where is the bud? 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 News Underground, bitch. News Underground, bitch. I'm abandoned nihilism, the harbinger of reality. Where is the bud? Where is the bud? Where is the bud? Harbinger of reality, abandoned nihilism. This is the News Underground, bitch. We'll see you next time. Where is the bud? Where is the bud at? Where is the bud? News Underground.